Hello everyone, and welcome to some more low-level boss stuff. Here we are actually fighting the imprisoned merchant for bird bolt access. This is a really difficult spot to try and find a merchant because the palace guards in this cave can one-shot you, and unfortunately so can this merchant. And I just wanted to showcase that amount of damage. Bird bolts do, I believe it's either 55 or 65 blood loss buildup. Originally, I thought that he was selling black key bolts, which are the rot bolts. However, those are just select drops only, and there's a limited amount of them. However, the blood loss bolts that this guy sells are going to come in a lot of handy, and I'm really just trying to get his bell bearing so I don't have to come back to the palace and fight through this guy every single time to get there. Here I'm using Flamber's Stormcaller with Blood Flame Blade. Not only does it do the blood loss buildup, this is how I can stun him and also launch him this way. Launching him is actually incredibly important because since the merchant is aggroed, he'll do that and one-shot me if I don't move that guy away from the merchant. And here I'm summoning the Rotten Stray again in order to just add rot to the merchant for passive damage over time. And here I have just regular blood bolts on the crossbow in order to burst him down, because as you can see, this guy has like 10,000, almost 10,000 health. Yeah, and specifically I was using not only for the blood loss on the Flamberge, but I think there's a slight poise or stance damage difference between Thunderstorm on the Stormhawk axe and the Stormcaller on the Flamberge. So I needed the bigger weapon in order to launch the Palace Guard to again, not get completely one-shot by the Frenzy Flame spells that this guy has. And here I am about to run out of Blood Bolts. However, I have more ranged attacks that I can spam. I do switch over to the Flamberge, thinking that I'm going to attempt to try and do this in melee, but these guys don't stun very well, so I decide to use the Kukri. It is a throwing knife that does pretty good damage, but also has blood loss buildup. And so as you can see, we are just throwing knives from a very safe distance at this guy who really doesn't like to dodge. And there we go. Now we have the bell bearing to get bird bolts, which will come in very handy in the third and final boss battle of this video. We are gonna go fight Radahn. As you can see, in between we got our fashion set up as that you saw in the invasion video of I think it's the bandit mask, bloodhound knight armor, perfumer gloves, and Albric's trousers. This is just some of my favorite fashion in any particular Souls game. Here we're just making sure that we're not getting hit by arrows, and then as soon as we get a decent amount of summons, just getting Radahn to stop shooting ranged attacks at us, and then going back to grab more summons, because we don't want to die. And here I'm going to use the technique of Blood Flame Blade Ant Spur, because Okina uses Rivers of Blood, so he does slight fire damage, so Frost can be reset very easily on Radahn. However, the Frost doesn't stick for everyone else to do extra damage to, so it's useful for getting a reset, but to synergize with the Summoned Phantoms, I'm just going to go for blood loss and also the rot damage over time. And as we go into the late game, there's still going to be some variety of weapons, but you're going to see that now that I have access to like the really powerful tools, the overall variety will go down, but you're still going to see me swap between them a lot. Like Blood Flame Blade Claws is really good for the status buildup. kind of dumb in terms of how good it is in PvP at this point, so I don't really like to use it that much for that. But when you're cheesing bosses at rune level 13, all is fair. And there I was just always try and use Torrent to avoid that attack. There are probably, it's just the safest way I can do it is just the double jump to make sure I'm out of range of the fire. And here I'm just making sure I'm up at full so that way the ritual shield talisman is active so Radon doesn't just one-shot me, because I have lowered defenses from Radigan's Source Seal. But hey, we got Radon finished off, and now we're moving to the Lendel bosses. The first boss is Golden Godfrey. Now I'm using the shield guys here because Godfrey is immune to status ailments with the exception of sleep, I believe, according to the wiki, but I've never really tried it. And sleep just doesn't do that much damage, so we're going to use Black Flame Tornado on the peeler we stole from Godskin Apostle. And I'm using the shield guys because I saw in a pacifist YouTube video that these guys are really good at attracting Godfrey's attention, and they're very durable. Now, because I'm not doing a pacifist run, I can just use them to grab Godfrey's attention while I spam Black Flame Tornado on his heals and chip away at his health with that particular debuff. And as you can see, it's going pretty well, and then once this boss fight is done, it will actually net me my 4th talisman slot, which I really wanted for the invasions because then I can have the fashion talisman while still having 3 stat booster talismans on it. And yeah, with these ones, it's a lot of the time it's just patience, getting a good setup, making sure that you capitalizing on good cycles. And now for our last boss of this video, we have Morgott. Now I apologize if there's some strangeness in quality. I had to reset my Elden Ring video, like gameplay video settings before Morgott a few times, so hopefully things are just better and run smoother. Here I'm using Banished Knight Oleg because the shield guys and the Rotten Stray were just not durable enough. I needed someone that could take more damage than not very much, because this is the like, it's not a huge marathon fight, but relatively speaking, these fights, like from Morgott on, these fights are, they're not sprints anymore. You have patience, as Ishin says, hesitation is defeat in Sekiro, patience is king in Dark Souls and Elden Ring, especially at low level runs. And there I capitalized on both uses of Morgott's Shackle, which stuns Morgott, and I also knew that I would live the blast with Ritual Shield Talisman, or whatever defense that I have on at this time, I forget exactly. And then here you can see now, to avoid the swords and also not get hit by all of those attacks, I am able to use the crossbow to shoot blood bolts. And here I am using Ice Rhine Hatchet, Hoarfrost Stomp, so that way I can try a different status buildup, because whenever you proc a status ailment, subsequent procs take more status buildup on bosses. So here I switched to Frost specifically so I don't have to work as hard to proc the damage loss, because I don't want to stand next to Morgott, or Frost Stomp is quite useful because I can stand a little bit back so I can see his attacks and I'm not like on his heel, because sometimes during all the chaos, especially with all of his falling sword and golden weapon particle attacks, it's hard to see what's going on. So with that, standing back and stomping, it has proven very useful in especially a photo finish. And because he doesn't monologue as much as Godric, I win. I am keeping this death and loading screen in just to show you that that worked. I died, but the cost was worth it. It was victory. See y'all in the next video.